7 o'clock, and we will call this meeting of the Library Advisory Board to order. Roll call is the first order of business, and we are all present and accounted for, including Katie, who's signing back on. Check. Next order of business is to approve last month's minutes. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at it. Nicole, were you going to say something?
No, I was going to move to approve.
There we go. Don't even have to ask for questions or comments. May minutes are approved. And we are so delighted to have a member of the public with us, member of the community with us today. And so welcome. If you would be willing to introduce yourself to the whole board and share with us as close to 3 minutes as you can.
Okay.
As you can manage, but you know, we're not super strict. What you would like to share with us this evening?
Yeah. Well, hello everybody. My name is Rowan. I'm a graduate student at CSU, and I live out here in Longmont. I study systems engineering, and I took a class called Systems Thinking for this morning. And in that class, we were taught these 10 philosophies, I guess, on how to solve complex problems or things that are really multifaceted. And for the final project of that semester, we picked a topic and then applied some of the philosophies and the tools and a little bit of the software stuff that we learned. That was the engineering side of it, at least. And I moved to Longmont about a year ago, and I just love libraries and thought it was a little interesting that we only had one. So that's how that thought line started. And I emailed a couple of folks and eventually got on to John, and we talked for a little bit. I learned a lot about how libraries work I didn't know before. Yeah, and that was the focus of my project. I can't say that it was incredibly probably the most accurate use of those tools. The point was really just to like practice the skills that I learned or demonstrate them. But it was on if expanding the locations in the library or converting to a district system was kind of the two paths that that project explored. Like beyond that, I don't know, got me passionate and fired up, and especially when I like read some of the like limitations that of being a municipal library, I guess. So honestly, I'm just interested to thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Michelle, initially. Right? So unless you want to hear what you guys do, I'm happy to be here.
Really great that someone voluntarily came up with a project around the library. It's not conventional for the public comment portion to interact and have questions and answers, but I don't think you used your 3 minutes. And I'm wondering if you could just say a little bit more about how systems thinking connects with looking for a synonym for problem, a challenge or an issue, the types of challenges or issues presenting the library. How would systems thinking be a helpful approach versus some other model?
Yeah, I think two things come to mind for that. So some of the philosophies that we learned, like the biggest one that sounds a lot simpler than I think it is in practice, is that complex problems have emergent properties, or something is more than the sum of its parts. Like if you just look at something individually, you're not going to necessarily predict the problems or issues you might have if you actually put all those things together. There's emergent features there. So I saw that in the project for sure. With it's not just a library in the city. There's a lot of other factors of the population or the demographics. That kind of
Katie, there's some noise coming through there. Are you muted?
Is it clear now? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I'll use that to pull up a picture that I used in the project. Let's see. Other thing I wanted to say, it's gonna be really small because I'm not on the Wi-Fi or anything, but there's these diagrams that we learned how to draw that showed relationships between things, kind of like inverse or direct, I think are the two math terms in there, but there were these loops that you could make that to kind of represent a problem. So I'll do this red one right here. It says like library patrons, demand of service, quality of service, and positive association with the library. And so how are those things related? So there's these tiny plus and minuses that show if the like increase in library patrons increases the demand of service of the library, so that's a positive association. But the demand of service, if there's no other factor, can decrease the quality of service, right? So that's a negative association. And what I didn't do in this class, but is possible with this line of thinking and that software, is you can assign math to it and get rates that if you play with, like over here, there's the amount of media collections or library-related ballot items, that kind of thing. If you assign the right equations to that, you can, if I increase, this variable, how does that affect, you can see like a rate of patrons or whatever. So didn't quite get to that step of the project, but yeah, there's a lot on there, but had some of those factors like population, distance to the library based on the size and the expansion of Longmont, number of staff, and a lot of stuff related to the but I didn't get a ton of information on the like mill levy and how is the library funded and sources. So
Wow.
did that answer the question? I hope, yeah.
I'm just curious, like what was what conclusions did you come to in terms? I don't know if you were like
Yeah.
making suggestions in your project or
I
if
was.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear a little bit about what you thought.
Yeah. So like I said, the two paths were kind of would more locations in Longmont be a long-term solution versus converting to a district system. And from my understanding, I advocated for the district system just because the independence seemed, and that kind of independence of funding, I guess, and self-management almost, from what I could tell, seemed like a more long-term solution. I think the expanded locations would increase the positive association with the library and increase patronage, all those things, but with the tools that I use, that kind of the district system. So I don't know how accurate that is in y'all's opinion, right? The experts who actually do this day to day. But
You, Rowan, could benefit from skills like that. So I wouldn't say that we're all experts in precisely the same things. If I'm interpreting that visual, that shows relationships between all of these different variables. So I think that's a really interesting way of looking at the whole. And exploring a challenge that is complex and has lots of moving parts that all kind of interconnect with other things. Like a hurricane map, it looks like. I'm so grateful that you came and spoke to us. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it doesn't really feel like a public comment per se, and I wonder if this is my last meeting as board chair. I wonder if this board would consider inviting you back and having you speak more at length, like a presentation, if there is interest, so that you could have more dedicated time on the agenda and we could see whatever you wanted to show us up on the big screen.
Yeah.
If you would be open to that.
if that's wanted.
Yeah, I think that's our big issue and it's so complex that any further information and ways of looking at it that we can get would be helpful.
I'm even happy to whiteboard it if it's, then you guys can add to it and tell me what pieces I missed. That'd be great. So,
Yeah.
Well, thanks for giving us the teaser.
Yeah.
I will leave it to this able body to figure out, you know, what more they would like to hear as we move forward, because certainly nothing is solved at this point.
Sure.
Yeah. Fascinating. And you're welcome to stay or leave.
Maybe for a little bit if that's okay. I'm just kind of curious.
We are going to move into new business, and for our brief icebreaker, I have a very simple question, and it is a timely question. What is something that you are proud of? And you can interpret it however you like, personally, professionally, as a member of this board, as a member of other communities. But this idea of pride and being proud of something, maybe it's just some aspect of who you are, how you show up in the world for yourself, your family, your community. That's the question in this moment of transitions and looking ahead and taking stock of where we've come.
Sorry.
Do you have a?
I was trying to not interrupt. So I was
Do you have an
whispering.
agenda?
Just for an agenda. Do you want me to start since I interrupted you?
Yes.
That's the rule.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I'm
never-
a volunteer.
So, I don't know if it's exactly about myself, but maybe about my family. But we are going to Washington, D.C. for the 4th of July. My family has a history of service, military service. And my husband was there for the bicentennial. When Richard Nixon was elected, he brought the troops home from Vietnam. And my husband came home. And so, being a young Marine with no money, no car, and just recently home, he hitchhiked from Idaho to Washington, D.C. for the bicentennial. So we're not going to go that far this year. We're going to drive there and drive back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and my husband had to have surgery in April and then a follow-up in May, so it's been a little tenuous. Are we going to be able to make this trip? We've both been so focused on we're fixing this and we're taking the trip because it's kind of like a second once-in-a-lifetime trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something that only comes along every 50 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's important, and something I'm proud of is our military heritage and participation in the civic matters of the country. I'm a city councilwoman also. So service is in our family. Okay.
Okay. Are you volunteering me?
Or whomever.
I guess I studied creative writing in college and then eventually moved to San Francisco and realized I couldn't pay for anything. And I met my now husband, looked around, no, seriously, looked around and was like, oh, my now husband is a software engineer and he can afford his rent. So I was like, I'm going to become a software engineer. And then I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
That I just completely transitioned my career. And yeah.
After your degree.
Yeah, I did a coding boot camp
Oh.
and learned how to code. Worked for a year at a startup.
Mm-hmm.
Interviewed at Google. They took me on. And yeah, it's great. They paid me a lot more than my nonprofit work did.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. It was cool. So
Cool.
proud of that.
I guess I would say I'm I'm proud of my career in libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of things and, moved to different places, and I think I made a difference in the places I was at. The community college I worked for in California, I did the transition from the card catalog to the online catalog.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody can remember that.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a very big
I
deal.
remember learning about the card
Remember
catalog
card
in
catalog?
library class in elementary school.
Yeah, yeah, and, we had a company that worked on it, and we continuously download stuff, and it took a while, it was hybrid for a while. Proud of that, and then, CU, when I took on the acquisitions department, it was like semi-dysfunctional, with some semi-dysfunctional people running it. And they retired, and I managed to get it into a much more functioning. So I'm proud of that. And then I'm proud of using, now that I'm retired, using that experience to volunteer in the homebound program and to be on this board.
I can go next. I'm proud of my ability to be my own hero, I guess. I'm very good at persevering and leading myself and my family through lots of things. We've had a lot of things thrown at us, especially medical wise, and we just started into
That resonates for me, Katie. I was thinking about, what do I say to my own question?
I'm proud of thinking of such a good question.
I'm proud of thinking of such a, provocative question. I've been reflecting a lot lately on different roles that I've had in my life, and including this one on the board. And I feel proud that a very different jobs, very different experiences, but a thread that has tied them all together is a real value on human relationship and human communication. And I can see how, looking back, I would speak up and often be, if not unpopular, then certainly, can we just move on already? That type of voice for, being precise with language, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, putting a person's feelings and human dignity before any policy or rule on paper, and always trying to navigate very challenging times with warmth and compassion for everyone. So that seems to be something that keeps popping up in my life in different lanes, and I'm proud that I've stuck to that because it has been hard and difficult.
I can go next, I suppose. I think many things went through my head when you asked that question, Jamie, but I think I guess I can take this time to really just kind of appreciate and I guess kind of give myself a pat on the back for growth that I've had personally, which has pretty much primarily come from this library. I've gotten just the kind of unique opportunity to be able to grow within different roles that I've had here, and just kind of the different impacts that I've been able to make, everything that I've been able to kind of achieve, if you will. I've worked with some of our amazing staff over the years, and that just continues to this day. I think that's kind of our biggest strength. Overall, obviously our community is also there, but I just want to kind of say that I'm proud of this library, and I'm proud of being a part of that.
Same.
Not so bad.
Yeah, no, I was gonna go on the more personal route here too, because, so I've aging parents, 89 and 88, and, you know, losing like some cognitive memory in my dad, so I've been spending a lot of time helping getting it up to speed on their finances, and like just, you know, it's like a, you know, here we are in a life transition. And I'm also, I'm just grateful that I'm here in the state. Like I only have one other sibling, and he's out of state, and so, you know, that just kind of worked out that I'm back in Colorado now at a time. So I'm, you know, I mean, I guess I'm proud of it. I'm more just grateful and happy that I'm here for it, you know. And it's not like dire right now. It's just a good time to actually be involved before it is, and you're scrambling and trying to figure things out.
Yeah, gratitude and pride, I think, are very close together. Thank you for engaging with that question. Our other item of new business is some board membership and library leadership updates. So from the board membership angle, Nicole and I completed all of the interviews that we had for the vacancies on this board, and finally got the recommendation to Diane and council for those appointments, and I hope you have everything now. And then that goes on to be voted on. Why are you laughing? I think I did what I was supposed to do.
I think you did too.
Okay.
I ran my computer down completely out of juice today
Oh.
before I was able to look at all of it, so. I
Oh,
will-
yeah, no
will get back to you
expectations.
If you don't mind me
No problem.
emailing me later, but I think it looks good.
No, the council votes at the end of the month.
We actually have moved it,
23rd.
we moved it up to the 23rd and
Yeah.
canceled the 30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this board won't really know what those final appointments were until after that, like,
No,
It's
you'll know on the
public on the
23rd.
23rd, right?
Yeah, you'll know on the 23rd.
okay.
And then I assume that the city clerk then contacts,
Mhm.
and I suppose that would be Tracy that would offer the invitation to the appointees
To
to the
the
next
July.
meeting.
So, thinking about some of the work that we did as a board in the past year around reviewing the interview questions, having discussion around the process, and,
Did that come in handy?
I thought so.
Okay.
Of course, you know, going through the real process for the first time was,
Yeah.
educational, right? Because I do think that Nicole and I both felt like where some of those improvements or that tightening up was benefiting us, and where maybe we didn't anticipate, you know, there might be some holes to close up on the other side for the next time you all go through this. But that's kind of, in my mind, that's the way to look at these kinds of things, as living documents that are always open to be revised and updated.
Mhm.
I think we can briefly be specific on the feedback, right? Like, I mean,
Sure.
so, appreciate it. Yeah, losing the questions that were like, they were like, it was like, I don't know, it was like, they were like more like social justice, like what are all your thoughts on how you can improve the library for all of the citizens of Longmont, things like that. I think that was more, like, it was hard for people to, like, if they had not prepared for that question, it was kind of like a challenging one to just come in and speak to. So like that was good. Like it felt good that we weren't needing people to have an intense background in library business and things like that, right? However, with our sheet of paper that people had to read and then respond to, it kind of felt like a test or a quiz for them. And so I think that might be something that we can modify for the next time around, so that I think you had the suggestion of like, let's make sure that they have that beforehand, but even that, I think people aren't gonna always read it beforehand, so I think coming up with another way to ask those questions in a more like general manner without being like, read this thing while we all watch you. Right?
It's a little awkward. No pressure.
Yeah, so I think that would be like a pretty easy change to make before next time. So.
At the same time, though, don't forget if you're not asking kind of the same questions every time, more or less, you enter a pretty issue area. You want the interviews to be fair, and so sometimes having those questions prepared helps with making sure that the interviews are fair. Just to keep in mind.
Agreed. I'm not hearing that we're suggesting getting rid of the questions, just that maybe we want to look at the wording of some of them and
And how they're asked, whether you have to read something before you.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I thought that's kind
Oh,
of
I for sure
strange.
don't think you have to read it verbatim off the page so much as you're just still, comparing apples to apples across interviews. But yeah, I don't for sure try to keep it casual.
Oh no, so Katie, what happened is in these interviews, we gave the applicants a piece of paper and asked them to read, it was like the motto and then the bylaws while we sat there, and then afterwards we were like, asked them questions based on what they've read.
mission statement.
The mission statement.
Let's go books.
So this is
Wow.
standardized test, basically.
How'd you think of that?
No, I just can't.
Staring
So I think what we would do is we would just take those exact same questions, what we were leading towards with those questions, and word them so that we can get similar answers from the candidates, but without making them have to read something. And then we would still give the same question to every candidate. Yeah, cool.
I still think we did really good work this year, though. I
Oh, for
think
sure.
like some
Yeah.
of those conversations about trying to get at the core of what we really felt was important to know from a candidate, I thought that was like some of the more important stuff that we did this past year.
Yeah, and you got a chance to test it in real life, and
Yeah.
now we modify or improve it.
I'm just gonna put this out there. What about a dry run, like with each other, like a little role play, like when you have the questions the way you think they should be, to then try them out on someone and see how they answer them, how easy it is for them to answer it in the moment.
We'll add the idea to the list.
That'd be a good systems approach.
Because I was surprised when we were in it. I was surprised
Yeah.
that, some of them felt a little like they needed a little bit more support to answer the question than
Yeah.
just right off the bat. Anything else about that process that you wanna share out with the group?
No, I mean, I think it otherwise felt similar to previous years. I don't think there was anything. It was different, I guess, because we had a lot of applicants and also filling a lot of roles. So whereas it was previously like, 2 applicants for 1 position, like, okay, like that. So like the actually like coming down to being like, who would make a good fit was a little bit
Right.
more tricky than in previous years.
But not as tricky as if we had all those applicants and only like 1 spot to fill or 2 spots to
I
fill.
don't know, maybe that would have been actually okay. If
In
we only
the
had
end,
1
though.
spot to fill, it would have been an easy answer.
Oh, right.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
That's
I think
true.
it was a little bit, yeah. Anyway.
And we got lucky that all of the applicants were
Exactly.
qualified for the role.
How How did it feel going through the interview?
Oh, for me,
Yes.
it was a little strange.
Because you've been working with us.
Because I've been working with you guys, yeah. But, I think I did better this time because the original one that I did had those social justice questions, and I'm going, I don't know, I just want to work for the library, you know, and I had to come up with something, you know, that sounded halfway plausible.
I know it was trickier to coordinate, but I really liked doing them in person.
Oh, yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting not having council interview after us.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that that was, I mean, when I applied, I don't think there were like 3 questions, and it seemed like it was kind of just like are you a sane person? Okay, let's go. We'll move on to the next person. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was a huge like discerning factor, but still, it's like interesting that you won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah, we're listening. We're doing a lot of listening. So I think it'll be a little more horse trading, arm wrestling, wedding planning, sometimes we call it.
Interesting.
Yeah, afterwards on the 23rd, so we'll see how it goes. We take a long time to plan a wedding with this council, as we have noted.
All right, so is that everything for the board updates and then library leadership updates?
I can take that one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think everyone knows at this point, but this will be my last board meeting here. I'm leaving my position at the end of this week. Is that news to you?
It is to me.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Please understand I'm a little behind on my
Well, you-
emails because I've been out.
You drained your battery, yeah.
And, well, and also I've been out.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I'm leaving the city. I accepted a position at the Denver Public Library, which I start on Monday.
Wow.
No vacation or anything?
No, I've never done it, so I don't know how to do that. Like, I can do it once I'm in a job and earn some time and I'll take a few days off, but like, I've never done the in-between thing. It's probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah. Good luck.
Jump right in.
Yeah, just jump right in. Yeah. So that's the biggest change here, and I you know, it's the job I took is certainly a higher level position at Denver, and something I really it was an opportunity I really couldn't pass up on. And I live in Denver, as most of you know, so commute's a little shorter now than it will be. But you know, I wasn't really thinking leaving here at all. Certainly not soon. So, you know, but 3.5 years, I think we did some stuff. I was going to say
You did some stuff.
the question you asked, I didn't want to do library stuff because I wanted to do that now, because I do feel pretty good about the last 3.5 years. Some of the things we've done here. You know, starting way back when I came in, there was really needed some policy updates. Got a lot of that done. You know, of course, fast forward to now, you know, we have the lockers out there, what soon be functioning.
Oh, I saw them today.
Yeah.
I was at the Lashley Street Station
Yeah.
Tai Chi class, and
Yeah.
there.
It's there.
It's
Yeah.
there.
You know, so I think, oh, that's good. So I'll miss it. I'm sure I'll stop back in. My boss, Jeff Friesner, who some of you maybe met over the years, but he will name somebody as acting interim director until they recruit, which certainly I don't know the time frame on that, but somebody from internally here will be in an acting role, and I don't know who that is yet. I think I might know by the end of the week, hopefully. Jeff hopes he knows, because he's going to be on vacation next week. So,
Oh dear.
They're hoping to name a
Yeah.
new interim director for Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so that'll be that. My assumption is that person will then step into these meetings, but I imagine Jeff will come. He was coming to these meetings before I was hired, And even after I was hired, he, for at least like 2 or 3 meetings or so, and at the time I was hired, we were just finishing up that feasibility study, so there was a lot I didn't know. So it's just another change to add to this board, besides getting, a bunch of new members. Now you're gonna have, someone else sitting in the seat, or maybe 2 people. Because I think Jeff will come for a little bit. He's much more grounded in boards than any of the, well, I shouldn't say any, but, because Tracy's here all the time. So, you'll always be in good hands, so.
Out of curiosity, I know the interim director will be the best person to ask questions about this, but do you have, are you able to tell us, who knows the most about what's in your brain? Probably Tracy, honestly, but.
Probably Tracy.
Okay.
But,
or Tracy, you obviously know if we have a question, who might know the answer at the library, so. You're the
that's
best person
exactly
to
what I
ask.
would say.
Okay, cool.
If there's something you want to ask about that might come to me, go to Tracy.
Okay.
And it may be, I won't have a say come next week, but, if I could be here to watch whoever's in the acting director role, I don't think it's a position where you need to suddenly be completely the director. We have a good leadership team here, with our 4 department heads and Tracy, and they're all experts in their own areas. So, I don't feel like anyone has to feel like they're on an island trying to make a decision when they're in a role that is temporary, and they have the support of Jeff too. So, yeah. And you could go to Jeff too for that matter. But, yeah. So I know it's like this is it. Obviously, I've known this for a while. Staff have known for a while, but in fact, all this kind of came into play not long after our last board meeting.
Yeah.
So I knew it was pending at the time. So anyway, I don't know if there's other questions or concerns, but that's the biggest. That's why that's on there is leadership updates.
Just gratitude from me, really. You're leaving some big shoes to fill, from my perspective.
Average size feet, size 9.
Being recorded, Jamie.
Yeah, I should think about that.
My perspective is that you stepped in at a moment when the staff and the library community were really hungry for someone to respond to and lead the vision for more modernization, more innovation, more of an outward gesture of equity, a louder voice for inclusivity, and really lifting the library up to that place where it really deserved to be, and where I believe staff had been working to, that's the reputation that it had among regular library users, but it's that public face, it's that reputation out in the greater city of Longmont, where, we still talk about it all the time in our meetings, when we talk about public awareness campaigns and letting folks know about all the great stuff beyond the books. And you've been really a consistent champion for all of those things. I mean, the lockers, the strategic plan, but I think you captured the sort of the zeitgeist of what was already wanting to come from the staff themselves. And I really hope that whoever they recruit into this role shares enough of that vision to just carry the work forward. That was the real moment, privately, that my heart dropped when I heard the news. Was like, oh shoot, we're just building momentum, I feel, as a library. And so, finding somebody with that sort of forward-facing vision, who's also really good with people and really good with navigating some of the messier people-y stuff. And yeah, the care with which I have observed you, we've observed you, handle, things that just come up, with members of the public, with members of the community. It's gonna be hard to match. So thank you. Oh, so depressing. Any other updates? Anybody else want to announce anything? Really good time.
I do have something on a lighter note. The staff is talking about giving city council go bags to give to the public. And we're honing our talking points. So maybe, I just wanted to say, maybe the focus could be some little resource to give to the public or to give to, people that come to talk to council. We're revamping, whether we just have coffee with council right now, but we're revamping to where we meet with different segments of the community, maybe who don't ordinarily have outreach. So, I was thinking, we need like a quick motto, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go books. That's a good one.
Let's go library.
Let's go, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to old business. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Talking points. Thank you. I was also a little behind on my emails this month, and just saw a little while before the meeting the comment from Charlene had helped us
Yeah,
sculpt
I did something.
the
and then-
points, and then
Nicole did something slightly different, and
Right, and I'm interested in hearing, Nicole, like if you wanna say more about, what, process or direction you had.
Well, I really
Wanted
liked
to discuss
that
more?
Charlene's, you managed to get it all into 2 pages. That was very, very nice because, so this went out to everyone, yeah. So everyone,
Yeah.
we don't printed copies, but everyone should have this in their email.
yeah, no, I'm not sure, Diane, did you get, I
Yeah.
may not have
I
included her on
I think I got a
Diane is
copy
on your email and my
Oh, okay,
email.
good.
So yeah. No,
But
you
I
did
printed them
great.
out before it went down, and I only got
Those
the
are the
same.
same. Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
So I didn't get Shirley's
That's okay.
printed,
I can
but I did
also-
read it actually.
And really, it was just, it was just cut and paste from, because what we
Yeah.
did the last time was like, just basically brainstorming. And thank you very much for getting it all down at all, But it was, we were going back and forth, and there were some repetitions, and I just, in order just to organize it in my own head, I just did some cut and paste and to try and kind of group it. But, it's by no means necessarily a final thing, it's just a way to think about it.
And I honestly did a very similar thing,
Yeah.
in terms of, like, use the stuff, I did pull out some, I focused a little bit on, like, kind of, I don't know, key words and, like, facts and things like that to have as a reference. I think in the original, we did a lot of, kind of, like, what are the elevator pitches for different members of the community, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's all really helpful, and I honestly think we should keep that draft, because I think everyone, like, for example, new board members should take a look through it and really, like, almost like internalize that message. But I don't know if we need that block of text printed on a, like, quick fact sheet, if that makes sense. No.
Wait a minute.
The library will be closed
Yes,
in
this is
15
normal.
minutes.
This
If
is
you
the
need to make
normal
copies
time.
or have copies to check out, please do so now. And it's all fabulous. Let me go
I
check
think
out
it's
something I need to. 6 minutos.
Is it quiet?
It seems quieter, yeah.
Does someone make it quieter?
I have no idea.
The new system's just already.
There
You're like,
was
I
a-
don't know, I'm leaving, I don't care.
Yeah, I know, I would love to tell you I care. Yeah. No,
Oh, this is your vacation. Got it.
But there was an email over the weekend or something about, it wasn't so much quiet, but it was like, it got muffled, like no one could understand. It was like garble, which was a little disturbing to hear, because this is a brand new,
Yeah.
like, really expensive system. So anyway, quieter is not so bad.
I was gonna say, it seemed clear.
Yeah.
In my experience in corporate America, sometimes workers who sit right under the intercom will stuff plastic bags up there because it's too loud. And
It's actually just your staff
muddles it.
tickering.
It muddles it, so we found that out in the past. Just saying.
So we should check all these around
Yeah,
the library.
somebody
see if
get up
the
there and
public
look
got up
around
there
and
and
see,
like
yeah,
started
see.
stuffing them.
Yeah.
I'll leave a note for the new director.
And for the new director, something to task number 1. All right.
So what I liked about the two versions is that both of you, broke the content into strengths or what the library offers. I actually really like that language. And then the needs or the issues that the library needs. Like, it was very straightforward. Your wording for the headings was very straightforward and accessible. What you can do or the actions that you can take, like, really good. And I liked that Charlene added that accessibility piece too. So whatever the categories are, I agree with you that you don't have to have an elevator speech like all scripted out and printed for somebody to read, but having the nuggets to riff off of and personalize and make your own, that's the part that I think is really important, that personal testimony, like run it through the filter of Jamie or run it through the filter of Charlene. Like, we're all going to pull out different points depending on who we're talking to or what the context is. And so part of me doesn't hate having a lengthier document that has some statistics and some just info, because you don't know what you're going to need to reference, maybe until you're in the conversation. But that said, having it really clearly organized so that you know what category you want to, what bag you want to reach into, depending on the opportunity. Like,
Yeah, I was kind of, when I first brought this up, I was kind of thinking, I want something like, not that I'm going to carry it with me to every little event we go to, just something to review it all before I go to the event. So it's, especially the list of all the things that are available. It's like, oh, I forgot about that one. Or somebody brings something up and you can say, oh, did you know we do this?
like in the most bite-sized way, like
Yeah.
little pocket elevator speeches.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to tell another Longmont resident one thing that the library offers that you don't think that they know already, and one action that they could take, one need
Yeah.
that you don't think they're already aware of, and one action to take, like that would be a nice little succinct
Yeah.
spiel in and of itself.
And under the key actions, I think it would be really important, so that's why I highlighted them in the text, is that the contact information should be right there available for us. And we might even want a little card that we can hand out with, okay, here's who you contact to volunteer for the library, because you tell them, oh, it's on the website, so that you've lost them.
Like a calling card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that was the note that I put at the end of mine, was basically like on a separate colorful little flyer that you hand out, and that's what, like, I had the QR code to the program calendar. Like, you actually noted a few more things, like maybe we could actually take those key action steps, like the contact information that you have in the key actions, and add that to the flyer.
Yeah.
So, because if we're handing something out, having the information where it's like, oh, it has the program calendar, right? It has whatever, the Friends website, and kind of go.
Yeah.
But also actually saying, like, here's what you can do to get involved in the library, in addition
Yeah.
to what you can take advantage of.
Yeah,
Would make sense.
yeah, exactly.
And that we can have that.
Yeah.
Whenever we have a table
In fact,
somewhere.
I was just thinking, that under the Get a Library card, we should tell them, go to the circulation desk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the more explicit you can make it, I think. And, and then, I mean, there are people like me that don't do QR codes, so, anything that, different ways that people can find out if they've already expressed an interest, you don't want to lose them. Yeah. Oh, and Diane, I was thinking about what you said about go bags. What about this?
That's nice. I think they're actually gonna buy us bags to carry around, so let's try to keep it light because we have a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But this has got all the events.
That's good,
Calendar
yeah.
and everything.
And I like what the library offers, all these things, because I forget about them myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And, the services
And especially right now, leading with, Longmont Library being essentially the first public library. And, leveraging anything around the, birthday, it's 250 years for the United States, it's 150 years.
154 Colorado,
Okay.
155 for Longmont.
That's where I keep getting tripped up.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We're
So
older than the state.
Longmont is older than the state.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the first libraries,
Was it just like the
1871.
Western Territories or something?
So it was.
Yeah, what were those
We were the
places?
Chicago
Find
City.
out.
That's what we were.
Yeah.
Calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wild, Wild West. But that feels like, there's many things that one could pick out, but for 2026, that would be a good one, a good entree into a conversation. Like,
Yeah.
if someone's not approaching you directly about the library and you're responding, if you want to initiate a conversation about the library, did you know, ... would be a really good way to engage people, I think. And think about the next
Yeah, I agree. I think we
150 years.
We should definitely make sure that one is in there. That is, I don't see that in Charlene's version.
No.
I'm trying to compare and contrast the two, and then there are no late fees are two talking points I see that I think should be in Charlene's as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that those are two, but I agree. The fact that it's the first public library in the state, I think, for sure has to be on here.
Yeah. I could go on and on. But I also like the quick facts, the way Nicole did it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just have to kind of.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's, because I think we use the same material, I don't think there's anything in yours that's not covered in mine, but I probably removed some wording. So what?
There's one thing that I think is in Charlene's and not yours, but I could be wrong, because I'm just trying to compare and contrast the two. Charlene has, and it would be good to know what you do for your library, because I do like those headings a lot. Attend council meetings. Oh, you do have it there. It is the last one. Okay, yeah. always invites them up. I think that's a really good one of things you can do for your library.
5 minutes. Please make your way to the checkout station.
This is more quiet, but it's clear in here.
La biblioteca cerrará en 5 minutos. Por favor, diríjase al
Thank you.
solamente
Nicole, your contact.
I will, yeah, I'll email you for a future. There's gonna be a big transition for this board in July. So are you here at least for another year? Cool, then I will be. Oh, okay, perfect. All right, we'll be in touch. Sounds like you're a future advisory board member.
Thank you.
See you.
Awesome.
Are we gonna eat the cookies?
Yes, right now. Let's do
Oh,
it.
good.
Let's do it.
Good.
Should we pass them around?
'Cause I can't eat too late, otherwise I get heartburn.
Did you wait until the guests left to pass around the cookies?
Oh, yeah, wait, let's
Someone
choose the
wanna
ground.
chase Rowan down? He's pretty aerodynamic, you could just kinda
Yeah. Frisbee.
duck. I wasn't, like, that's how tired my brain is that I did not even, I saw them.
Register.
I didn't even register that those were for us. It's like, oh, that's cleanup from the previous.
No, it's not. It's all over
Festivity.
here and cleaned up in no time. That's good.
Is this in any way a going away party?
Ask Tracy.
It is, yeah. If you'd like, I like to have toast.
When we have sparkling white grape and sparkling red grape.
What does it mean?
I think like
It's
if
to toast.
people are game,
Oops.
everyone should have a splash of something.
Oh, she's locked out. We never give him children. Come on in.
Come on back.
We decided we're
dragged
having
you back.
We realized
You know,
we had refreshments, we weren't.
Those are lemon and they have every allergy.
They have every
I love
allergy.
that.
If you're allergic to anything, I mean.
Thank you. Did these already get passed around? or-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nicole
No,
hated you.
Then I'll bring them.
Yes.
Just either way.
There's napkins.
Tracy wants
Are you gonna sit down with
do
them?
a
You have to
big
go for
toast
dog.
for
Yeah,
both
I know.
of us.
Okay. Do you want a
Thanks for
glass
the-
of any juice? Okay. Thanks for joining us on this propitious evening.
I really appreciate the theme of the napkins, matching the cookies.
That was not totally does. Yeah, we were really on top of that.
Totally right. So anybody want some sparkling red grape or?
Or white grape, red and white. Is this like a, she's just screenshot?
So,
So we have to,
oh, we have to make right through the plastic and then make it.
These are delicious.
Are they
Smells so
good?
Yes.
good. They
Oh,
smell.
I was like. There might be a little bit dry, sorry.
Mhm. The Italian side of my family makes a cookie like this.
Yeah.
This is very similar.
No, I'm just like sticking to it, so it's not.
I didn't shake it. So.
I
I've
know.
just been sitting there.
I didn't shake it either. I don't know.
Nothing much white
Oh,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see what we're doing. I'm just gonna go for it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
No, that's not
Okay.
worry, right?
Ah, do you want white? Do you want white?
Oh,
Okay.
My husband opened a bottle of champagne in our kitchen over the sink, and the cork flew up and took out the overhead light.
I used to be a server. And whenever people order a bottle of champagne, I was like, no. And one time I shot the cork at the bathroom. And then I was like, I don't want to have it again.
I was a server for one summer in college, and I had to carry a tray with all of the drinks,
Oh my.
and that's crazy. I dropped it, and all the drinks went everywhere, and I did not ever serve after that. That was enough for me. It's too much pressure.
Hey, this juice is delicious.
The library
Very
is
well.
now closed. Thank you for visiting the Longmont Public Library.
Oh, yum.
La biblioteca
Oh,
ya
good.
está cerrada.
That's a shocking
Cerrada, la biblioteca del Longmont.
Ooh,
Okay.
40% juice.
The rest of it's just
Sure.
sugar water.
To John,
John.
thank you for all your dedicated
Yes.
service.
Thank you all, and thanks to Jamie for your years of service on this board.
Yes.
Jamie and Katie.
Jamie,
And
Katie.
Katie.
Woo. We hope you're having a treat there at home.
I just finished a try, so yes.
Great.
I don't think I've ever had sparkling.
No, it's good.
Grape juice. Yeah. That'd be my new favorite thing.
It's rather nice. Thank you. It is a bittersweet moment.
Your voice will be missed on this board. You have
Things
a-
end, new things begin, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you
that's
have
what
a
I would toast.
particular way of expressing and seeing things.
I think we all do.
Agree. We're just better at expressing.
So what do you think we should do about?
Yeah, what's the
these
recommendation?
documents?
I'm open to whatever. I mean, if you like, what we could do is go through it. Like I already just added things. I realized I had a homebound bullet point that just said homebound, and that was it. So I just added that. I just added information to that one, and it's not in the it's not going to be in the PDF though, of course. So, but I added it to the Google. If you have access to the link that's in the email, it'll open up the editable version of Google.
Oh.
Is homebound like delivery service?
Right, so what I wrote is the homebound program, volunteers will select and deliver materials to those who cannot visit the library. And like a lot of these they're not gonna cover all of it, but I think it's good for those of us who are on the board and are familiar with these programs in a deeper level. And maybe what we do when we have new board members, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but maybe what we do when we have new board members is we go over all of these things and make sure everybody understands the programs. And then these little sentences are just to
Just a
trigger a
reminder.
reminder. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like some things that are nice are like the 3D printing, like patrons can reserve up to 5 hours as printing time for free. Like I didn't know the number 5 hours. I was like, there's some limit to the free, but I don't know what it is, you know? And so I'm wondering if what we do is it sounds like people are pretty okay with the organizational structure that I put in mine, which is really the only real difference between the two of ours. And so I wonder if what we do now before next month is you and I take one more look through it, note any edits we want to make, and either you and I can just email back and forth or whatever, email with Tracy, whatever it is. And I don't think we need to put hours of going back and forth or anything into it. Just do one pass type of thing. And then what we can do is at either the next meeting or if that's busy, maybe the following meeting, go over it with everyone on the board and note where people have questions about it because they're a really good audience, and have them say, oh wait, hold on, what is the number that should be here, or what does this even mean, or whatever. And that way, after that iteration, so maybe that's 2 months from now even, we might have a pretty good document, and that could be the document that we use on this board.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a
That sounds like a great.
Cool.
Yeah.
And even if you like that idea, if you wind up doing that in the fall, where what we did before about having different staff rotate and give mini presentations about their section or their role.
Yeah.
That will go a long way to educate a new board about the various functions within the library and provide some reference points or some mirroring to these talking points. Yeah.
No, I think that sounds great. I have that on my list of things that I want to schedule in the next year.
We have 4 new people, so this is a great way to sort of hit them with it, and see what sticks, you know, what stands out to them.
Right. Or because they're fresh, like to present a draft and say, which ones didn't you know before this meeting, before you were a board member? You're
Did you
finding
learn?
out now.
Yeah.
Certainly, all of our applicants, you know, spoke about their regular use of the Longmont Library and their, you know, long-term interaction with the library in different ways. So that would be a curious exercise to see.
But yeah, I mean, I have a long-term relationship with the library, and
Mhm.
there are a whole bunch of things in here that I didn't know that we had or offered. You know, just because it was not something that I could. Yeah.
And just the
But,
the
yeah.
knowing it, like, is more important than the specific numbers, right? The
Yeah.
hours or,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like, I'm a volunteer, you know, how many hours of free printer time do I get? Well, you know, I'm just the board member.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Go and
here's
ask.
the staff
Right,
contact.
right, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
But now you know that it exists.
Exactly. No, I think that, so I think what we can do is, let's say that we'll bring it up again with the board in the August meeting.
Okay,
And so we have between now and August for you and I to just do another pass
yeah,
and maybe get some.
and so that
Yes.
link is to a Google Docs site.
Yeah,
Do I have to log in?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Do you have no Google account on any Google services, Gmail or?
Yeah, I have Gmail.
Oh, perfect, yes. So if you click that link in your email,
Oh, okay,
it'll open up and you'll be able to,
okay, and
I don't know
it's a
what-
shared thing.
yeah, it's a shared
So
thing.
it'll
I
let me
can
edit this.
change what it'll do is actually change everyone to a suggesting, I think it is, view. And so what it is as you type in, it'll like kind of, it'll show up as like a comment. And then we can go through all the comments together and like
Okay.
approve them.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense.
What is the ultimate use of these talking points? They're not things we're supposed to commit to memory, it's, you know.
No,
you
it's
quick to-
just a way for us to, I think, refresh our memories about that before we go out to an event where we're gonna be talking to people.
But maybe it's also to have some colorful flyers,
Yeah,
some
and that's-
teasers to bring people in.
Mhm. Yeah, and that.
Yeah, I think we'll
Did
work
you have
on
that
that.
in
I think we
your-
can work on that a bit later. I'm not a colorful flyer designer
No.
type of person. Maybe
I-
there's a talent at the library.
Well, I mean, when you kind of get into that too, I mean, we have our own, you
Communication.
know,
library.
we have our own wrap cards and stuff. It's not all in one place, but everything you're doing, we have it existing by service. Like here's all our e-content, here's all our, you know, library of things. So I don't know, at that point on a printed material, if you necessarily need to replicate it into something else. But that's just my thought. I always thought
Yeah.
this was more to have sort of something like you said, like to review it because you know you might be somewhere where people are asking about the library or anytime if you're just somewhere and
Yeah.
you know it comes up here on the board and then someone starts asking you questions. Not that you necessarily need a thing to hand them.
Yeah,
Right.
the main thing I was thinking of, something to hand them, is this key actions at the bottom on a little
Right.
card with the contact information. I think
Sure.
that would be the most important thing.
The moments where I really wished that I had something like this, even just thought out for myself, was, you know, a couple of times at those outreach, those festivals, you know, where the library had a tent, or volunteering at the Friends book sales. I really like to volunteer at the cashier station, and so you have to talk to people all day long, and they love to tell you what they love about the library, or what they just noticed, or what thing they wish they could figure out, and they're just telling you because you're the person taking the money for the used books. And you hear so much good stuff from the community, and it's an opportunity also to educate them on, I mean, like, we're literally surrounded by posters that have the library of things all spelled out on them now, and they're still like, I don't know what the library of things is. What do y'all have in your collection? And then you're just like, well, check out this poster right here. So it's good, nice to have things to
Yeah.
reference for those conversations. I don't know how many more print things we need. Small card is good,
Mhm.
but like I really like the format of the newsletter that, for sure, that comes out seasonally. Like,
This one?
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great size,
Mhm. Not too
very
big,
handy
not too
format.
heavy.
Has all you need to know, like all the really important stuff, and then does it have a QR code on it, the website?
They're all
on
over the
front?
place.
They're
Yeah,
all over the place.
place.
Yeah, if it's not enough, you
Storytime.
go to the
How many
website
is
and
it?
learn more.
It's seasonal. This one's summer.
But we started it, when did we start that? That was one of the things I wanted to do.
That was another thing, a legacy of
Right on the
John's.
front.
A couple years. We've been doing it for a couple years. I mean,
Did I walk right by the stand of those when I walked in, maybe?
they keep some in here, usually at all the desks will have them.
Okay.
I think there might be some in that stand right there.
I think you're
When I
right.
volunteered last year at one of the concerts, downtown concerts, I was amazed by all the kids were seeing what all is involved, because there were things, and I do browse the printed material, but there's some printed material in this place and some printed material in this place, and of course some printed material that is for outreach. And so, yeah, it's probably there already. It's just a matter of matching it with what we're thinking.
City council point of view, we often get people that say things like, we'd like to start a garden, our own garden, but we just don't know where to get started, or, and it's like, well, you can get seeds from the library. Oh, where would we do that, or, board games, somebody new in town, they had to move, we had to pack up all of our stuff down, our house is smaller, so we weren't able to bring a lot of the kids' stuff. Just go get some of these board games. We're here.
Here's a motto for
At our
you.
historic library.
Yeah.
First in the
Start
state.
here,
Start
period.
here.
That's your motto.
Ooh, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Think of a situation where that's not true.
I like how I accidentally said motto earlier, and now we're coming up with library mottos.
I walked in needing that, so. The universe knew. Start here. I like it. Start here,
Your
Longmont
life
Library.
starts
Say it again.
Here as
Your
well.
life starts here.
Yeah.
It's like, make sure we really nail it in that you need to be here.
Yeah.
Anything else on this topic? You're both clear on next
Yeah,
steps?
yeah.
I feel pretty good about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to email me if you
Yeah.
have any issues with the link or whatever, and we can figure something else out.
Yeah, okay.
On to reports.
And if you get bored ever,
Tracy's pretty
Yes.
bored.
Yes.
Yeah, the new director.
I
might
hear
be
you
super
don't have
busy.
enough work.
I know.
Keep that in mind, just in case.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna share because I'm going to this. I don't remember if this is in the packet or at least the link to the annual report.
It's in the
Should be,
kids'
it's also on our website.
That's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But
I think it was.
It was.
oh boy. Okay.
Can I ask a question before you start?
Yeah.
What is the audience for this report and its purpose?
At one point in time, this isn't true now, and this was pre like our current city manager. Is departments would make annual reports and deliver it to council. And this is a little bit of a carryover in the sense that I still like to have it as a public-facing document.
Mhm.
So it's for us to share, it's for the board to have, for the board to share. I guess the audience is kind of everybody, you know, but we don't go to council anymore and present our annual report to show what we did.
Okay. So its current purpose is to just brag about the library to the public?
It's
More or less.
stakeholders, right? So if it could be members of the public, it could be small businesses in town that the library is seeking to strengthen relationships with. When you have an annual report, you're communicating with your stakeholders, your donors, or whoever's been supporting you. Like, this is what we've done, and this is what we said we were gonna do, and how those two things lined up.
I agree with that, that is not in this annual report, right? This does have, it does have information on what happened in the last year. And I don't think it necessarily needs to do that for this annual report.
I'm wondering if that's what you're noticing is just because the strategic plan itself is a newer initiative, like a bringing that back is a newer process that John oversaw, and so, you know, there may just not have been enough time since that to really be able to speak to, you know, point for point things in the strategic plan.
Yeah, where an annual report might do that, like here's all the things that we want to do in year one, and then here's.
Like, I feel like a
Because this
lot of
certainly
it's in there.
was created before we had a strategic plan. I'd say it's kind of is more of a marketing tool
Right,
than it
yeah.
is an accountability tool.
Right.
For
I would agree
think
with that.
so.
I mean, because there are technically, like, there are metrics in this.
Yes.
But they're not metrics that are designed for measuring outcomes. Like you have, for
Yeah.
example, and we can go through it, and maybe I can point it out as we go through it if there's something interesting. But like you have, like I like the section that's like fun facts. Like there are some fun facts in here. There's like a number that's like, here's how many people have a library card.
Yeah.
What there isn't is if the goal of the library had been increase library
Right.
membership, and you said we signed up 10% more library cards
Right.
than the previous year, right?
Yep.
Now that shows like a metric and you're measuring growth, right?
Yeah, and
that's not the goal
this
here.
report.
Yeah. That's what I
No.
figured. Yeah. Okay.
I would say its purpose in marketing in a way, and I kind of wish we did still present it to council, because I feel like then, almost in the same way that you're talking about talking points, it's not like council can't get at this, right? But I feel like if they're talking with the community and someone's saying like, no one goes to the library anymore, I mean, you can at least throw a metric at them that says, yeah, they do.
Mhm.
Right? Like, and then maybe there's some talking points that come out of this. But I would agree, it's not what you're thinking from what you might see from like a corporate annual report.
But even with a nonprofit annual report, it could move in that direction.
It could.
Like, I feel like we're approaching that moment because we want to engage the public enough that we're talking about maybe ballot measures again, or we're talking about different ways of funding the library at a higher level, whether it be through taxes or some other structure. And once you're successful in that and you've engaged the public in like, okay, you've convinced me that I need to do more as a resident of Longmont to make the Longmont Library even better, then that's when I feel like that accountability piece is gonna really kick in and become an expectation among more people in the community.
Yeah.
But right now, like when John came on, there was so much work to be done, in my opinion, around just public awareness of what the library does, and this style of report achieves that.
When did you stop reporting to city council? I'm
Before
almost,
my time.
well, I'm almost sure I heard one in 2023.
Well, we did, we snuck one in.
Okay, good.
I mean,
Good, yeah, cause I'm like.
more or less, I talked Jamie into doing it. It was actually, you don't think so?
You did that?
There's more to the story, John. That was not a Jamie Quirk experience that council got. That was a last minute, other board member was sick and
That's
lost
right.
her
That's
voice.
right. I forgot
And it
about
was
that.
a last minute deal, and so I
Yeah.
wound up presenting publicly from slides that I did not create.
Yeah, it was,
And that's a
That
bad
sounds
idea,
really
with
fun.
not enough time to really
yeah.
sit with the slides, and they couldn't have been changed. So the point size was like this.
It
I
was
didn't
bad.
have any
I mean,
time
that
to
part
rehearse.
was not fair.
So, yeah.
And yet I remember that we had one, and I'm
Yeah,
not saying
and
that
I think-
unfavorably, so.
And I don't
Good
remember
job.
on my side of things how that came about, where somehow we were able to get in front of council with it.
Mm.
But my understanding from my boss is that's not the kind of reporting that our city manager wants to see from departments. Other reporting and things are fine, but not like in this form.
Mhm.
So I don't quite remember how that came about.
If the city's not asking for it, I don't know why you would do it, so, if that makes sense. No, why you would do more beyond this like marketing style report that I think
Yeah,
helps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, council could always request, like.
Council could request it
More.
anytime, really, or some kind of presentation, I would suppose, you know, but there's
I
never less than 8
think
million
it-
things you're worried about.
I think it strengthens your position when it comes to budgeting time. For all council, and we have 4 new members there,
Yeah.
to know what you would be requesting and why, and what it is the library actually does. Like, I did not know at that time that there were these discovery passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
found out about it and I used it
Yeah.
to go to the Botanic Gardens for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah,
It was cool.
yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And that keeps
And then
expanding,
the,
so,
The
But-
materials that you can check out too, that
Mhm.
was, I thought, it's kind of
But I
expensive stuff too.
think more
Yeah.
for presentation to like council, I think you need more like metric kind of things like you were talking about, like, I look at this and I say, well, so what? You know, because I don't know what that's compared to.
Mhm.
And, you know, well, 103,000 people have a loan. Oh, how many of those are active? How many more do we have this year than last year? You know, just because I think we have to make a case for the population has grown, the usage has grown. This is why we need more money and another building. You know?
and this is not that document.
No, I know, but
Right, but
But
that
is there-
is also exactly like my feedback on it. Just not as a board member, as a member of the public looking at this. Like I go to the website and I look at this. I see events and programs, 1,500 events and programs were offered in 2025, and I'm like, that sounds like a lot. It's one of those things. It seems like a big number. I have no idea. Is that more than the previous year, or is it actually less? Are we hiding some information there? Actually, we reduced our amount of programming
Yeah,
in the year
that's-
before. We had 1,600.
That's why it's.
Or is that more than Erie offered,
mhm.
or is it less? Like I have no idea.
There's no frame of reference.
There's no frame of reference for any of these numbers. They're just numbers to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the only like feedback I guess I have on this format is that for me, like it actually, what the most useful thing that I get from this is that if I didn't know what discovery passes were, I would want to go find out. And this document doesn't even tell me what discovery passes
Yeah,
are
exactly.
actually.
Yeah.
But it does, this document does a great job of listing all of the things that the library does. And like really advertising all of those. The numbers don't really mean much to me, but like the reminder of all of the different things, cool.
Yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
be something that looks very different than this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I forgot it was in the packet, so, you know, I don't need to go through it all.
Is there anything you want to call out because it's interesting?
The one thing we did differently this year, which I do like having here, is we spelled out accomplishments in the last year.
Yeah.
I like this section.
And that I think is good because, you know, in a way that's different than what we're talking about, right? Like some of these programs we did, and, you know, that again might raise awareness. People might ask, like, well, what's that program? That sounds interesting. Are you going to do that again? You know, so I really, for what this does, I do like this section.
I think this section is really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this reading success box. Like, that was a surprising data point to me, that it was the highest level since pre-2020, and that was awesome.
And it's useful because you get that frame of reference.
Yeah, I
In
agree.
comparison.
I agree. I think for, you know, even if it wasn't like a full blown, like, you could still probably do some version of this that does have metrics, because I've pulled that from the state report where you
Right.
could show, like, okay, we have this many card holders, how does that compare to Boulder and Erie, Lafayette, Louisville, right? Like, maybe
Yeah, exactly.
people could say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But even then, to your point, it's okay. It's a total number, but what is that? Does that mean 1,000 people are actually actively using the library?
Yeah.
No, it means
Yeah.
there's
I
a
mean,
portion of
yeah,
those
they
are
got-
sitting in their wallet.
Yeah, and they got it 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
Do you
not
do you
all.
read them out?
But that's the problem with any statistics, is they can
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
used.
So, for what it is, it's a marketing tool.
It is. And it's pretty.
A lot of those
It is. And Tracy
accomplishments
did
were
a lot
in
of
the
work on this
strategic
as our
plan.
marketing person.
Right?
Hmm?
A lot of those accomplishments were mentioned in the strategic plan.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would also be, yeah, again, I think that would look different. I mean, but yes, that could almost be reporting out on, okay, here's year 2 in our 5-year plan, you know, what things have gone on, what accomplishments have satisfied, things that we spelled out there, and reference back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's a different document
Yeah.
for sure.
So, there's that.
Can I just ask a really specific question on one of these points?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me, maybe I missed this and you did talk about this before, what's the teen limited use card versus children's card?
Yeah, okay, so our children and teen staff came up with this idea because our current, like, age kind of brackets of where you can get a library card, and children are technically 0 to 18. But we get, and I don't remember the exact age group, I don't know if you remember, but there's a group within there that's not 18, but they're also a little bit older, right? So they're probably going to be here without a parent or guardian, which for the children's card, you can't get a card unless you have a parent or guardian or caretaker with you. So what, it's a way to basically increase that accessibility to the library and not remove barriers to access. So we created this limited use, which means you can be in a certain age range of teenagers where you can still get a card, but you're limited to how many things you can check out.
Okay.
And without any parent, guardian, caretaker signature.
Okay.
Because otherwise they come in and we're like, you're in this weird age group where we know you're old enough to get a card, but you can't because you're
Yeah.
still a child. So we came up with this so it's reduces the risk a little bit on the loss
Okay.
for the library, but they can get what they need.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then whenever it's convenient or if it works out to get somebody in here to sign off on it, then they get a full access.
I see, okay.
Which really the only difference is the number of items you can check out. They still get full access to all electronic, right, databases, e-content. So it's hardly limited, but that's something we came up with in that year, which is why it's listed there.
Okay, so the difference between an adult and child is you need a signature
Yeah.
by a guardian.
Yeah.
And the difference between the adult and teen is the number of books you can check out.
For the limited use, yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Sounds similar to that
Makes sense.
process for out of state or, like new residents who don't have their Longmont.
Yeah, we have an
ID.
adult limited use as well.
Yeah, haven't gotten their first utility bill.
And now we have a, what do we call it? It's a child limited use, but it's really for caretakers who, so kids who are coming in without a parent or guardian, it's their caretaker, like me,
Oh, okay.
or whatever. But
That's
we came
cool.
up with a card for them so that they can actually get a card and check out to the kids.
Is it?
And so they're not limited or they're being told, no, you can't have books today just because you're your caretaker who's probably with them here more than their actual parents are because of, and I don't mean that in any way, it's just that's how it is, right? That's why they're here, so. Yeah, okay. Budget presentations from me to the city manager on Wednesday.
Okay.
And of course, I won't be here to share, well, in July, there's not gonna be news, I can tell you that. Maybe in August. So, you know, any questions or things or information that does come up, between Tracy will know. If you have questions about the budget, you know.
Is it a public meeting? Is it
No, these are our staff presentations to the city manager.
Seems like I accidentally walked in on one of those last year and it seemed very tense, so
Yeah, it feels like a Senate hearing.
Right, yeah, it's in the chamber.
It can
usually,
feel
and
like
yeah,
that.
okay.
You start getting grilled, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly how much do you spend on paper clips?
I mean,
I was like, I'll just let them duke it out then. Hear who won.
yeah, I mean, like, you know, it varies every year how it goes, and the presentation it's all of external services, so it's not just community enrichment, which is library, museum, parks, and open space, and well, yeah, but they don't present.
Why not?
Because they're self-funding, they're an enterprise fund. They don't get money. They have to earn it.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and they do.
They do.
And they do. Yeah, they're.
Well, of
they're-
course they do.
Nextlight's the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, also in external is facilities. There's a bunch of other departments, so we're all in there, and it's not like each one of us goes through every request one by one and explains it to the city manager and the finance team. It's more like they'll pick things out to ask you. So you don't know.
So you just get the contentious things.
I mean, sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And for other people too. You know, like they really have to explain a lot of things out. And some of it is complicated. Some, like Parks and Open Space, has funding from general fund, but also they have trusts out there. They have different things that they get money from, and so it's a mix match. And sometimes just the questions are just a matter of where is this new employee getting paid from? And it's like not the general fund, and then usually the city manager doesn't worry about it anymore because it's
Because it's not allocated.
but the library's like it's very easy.
Yeah,
Anything
it's all
we're
general
asking for is general fund.
Has
so.
to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's really all I had for, was there anything that you had? I think, did I mention last time that the locker at Lashley's installed? Okay.
Yeah, and I've seen it.
I saw it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's been wrapped yet. Is it still a white box?
Yes, it's still a white box, but the book return thing's been wrapped.
Yes, well, that came
That came
way.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I thought. this
Yeah,
is
so that's what
plain
it'll look
looking.
like.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you want to see the locker, how it looks, then you have to go out to Ascent. But that should be getting wrapped soon. I don't know.
Okay.
That's something my marketing person
Yeah.
is staying on top of.
It looked.
But it's
it was
functional.
turned on, yeah.
Well, it's on, and we're doing testing
Okay.
with that.
Because the
it's-
little screens they put in your car.
Yeah, I know, but it won't really work yet. But hopefully soon. There was a lot of bugs in that first locker, I think I've talked about, and they ended up basically reinstalling it, but they had a whole new software package that they were in development anyway, so they thought, well, maybe this will fix your problems, and it did. So that's what we're waiting on there. And the Ascent one could be made available to the public. We're waiting on that book return that's also out there. It looks exactly the same as what you saw at last week. That one, Ascent, hasn't been physically installed or mounted in the concrete yet but now it should be soon. But there was a lot of back and forth between whose job it is to mount it because it's Longmont Housing Authority, so should their maintenance people do it or should city facilities do it? But then it became a question of, well, there's a warranty on the concrete because it's a new build. Is that going to invalidate the?
Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you, that's resolved now. Someone actually dug in and said, because I kept saying, by the way, that they put a slab of concrete there specifically for the locker.
Yeah.
Because they said, we will do this for you. I said, that shouldn't have anything to do with the rest of the property, and they knew we were installing a locker on there. So finally, someone from Longmont LHA dug into it and said, oh yeah, you're right, it was for the locker only. So I'm like, yeah. Anyway, my thing about this is, look, it's heavy, right? I'm not worried about someone like, oh good, like, this hasn't been mounted, let's steal a book return. What I am concerned about is it's a apartment complex, there's families. I could just see like a child climbing up on there or doing enough where it tips over.
Yeah.
And it's just like all this back and forth, meanwhile we have a safety issue.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have the locker running yet because people will want to return books and we don't want to returning books into a non-mounted thing. Okay. But late last week, finally got confirmation that our own city facilities will install it, and they were going to make plans to do it. So I thought maybe I'll find out for it in the locker we run. Whew.
Not afraid people are going to try to steal those free books that they could just check out.
That too. That's it. That's kind of it for the library. I don't know about Friends, except they just had their books out.
Oh.
Right, I saw Dream Books loading up. Like, must
Good,
have been-
because then they're clearing out the garage down there.
It looked like a lot of stuff
Well,
going into the truck.
their donations that they intend to go to Dream Books has really been spreading out in the garage down there and taking over other parking spaces. So it's good if they were here because they're not going to sell them. So
Just want to observe, as I have before, that of the many public libraries that I visit and have been involved with, very, very, very few to no. I'm just saying few because maybe I'm forgetting one. It just takes donations as willingly and as consistently as our friends do. And so, like, there's a lot of books that come in. There's a lot of volunteer hours.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so much work. And I'm so used to the model of, like, these friends organizations having more guardrails around what they take and when they take it. And I remember living in towns where the library didn't take donations for the better part of a year because they were maxed out. They ran out of space.
well, I did that at a library, but I also didn't have friends. It was staff. So I created donation days twice a year. That's when you can donate.
Right.
So that because people like to do it, so I didn't
Right.
want to completely
Yeah.
remove it, but we couldn't manage just people dropping stuff off every day.
When I was in Jersey 2 summers ago, no, last summer, we were cleaning out my in-laws' basement and I had boxes and boxes of books from like 20 years ago. And I was like, you know what, let's just donate them to the library. We're going to fly them, mail them back to Colorado. call the library and, like, you have to make an appointment, like, and it wasn't the staff, it was friends, but like you had to make an appointment to
Sure.
bring your books at a specific time. And we met and had somebody say in person, yeah, we take that, or no, we gotta take that, like, the old textbooks and
Yeah.
stuff. Which is helpful because the Friends volunteers sort through all of those bins, and all of the stuff that they say on their signage and in their messaging, we don't take. It gets donated anyway, and they're the ones that have to spend time fishing it out and putting it in
Yeah.
bins and having Dreamboats truck it away, so they do a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to know what they brought in from that sale, but we don't have that information yet, I'm sure.
And I think they're still sorting that out.
Mhm.
And their meeting this month is canceled, is that right? Did I see that? Oh, I saw
No,
something
the date was
canceled.
wrong. The date was wrong with that invite. It should be it's always the last, the fourth Wednesday.
Okay, so it's
it should
the
be
24th.
Yeah, that would be, I just need to move up to that.
Do you wanna invite me?
Yes.
I might not make it.
That's fine.
I'd like to have it on the
Add
calendar
it to
too,
my
I only
calendar.
will make it.
No, next
Remarks
one.
from council.
Well, let's see, we'll be making our appointments, the 23rd. Also, a good time to come speak to council would be potentially July 7th, where you have 5 minutes to speak. It's open forum, and you actually get to interact with council members. That's, we have that twice a year, so July and January. And it seems like we missed January, so that'd be kind of a big crowd. What else can I say about it?
Can you speak to the email that we got sent about the role of the liaisons for the
Oh, yeah.
boards? Tracy forwarded to us. Let me pull it up. How boards interact with city council. Council is interested in hearing ideas that support council priorities, but do not want to limit boards from sharing information that helps council decision making. Ideas that the majority of board members want to forward to city council should be discussed with the council liaison. Bring ideas to the council during their report out to determine if it is something city council wants the boards to continue to pursue. Is that, I just am not sure what this came from, if this was, did
Yeah.
they hate it when Charlene and I went up and talked
Yeah,
to them
yeah, I was
about
gonna
it,
say,
or-
oh.
No,
I don't
is
think it
it
was
supposed to do
necessarily
this?
personal, but I just don't know
Is
what
that
this is
how you
coming
feel?
from.
Yeah,
And
Oh, really?
yeah,
I mean,
what's it?
that's kind of what I was thinking. Oh,
Okay.
well, maybe we shouldn't go on and talk.
This in no way was directed to the library board.
okay, but I'm curious if it was a different board.
There was a particular board in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
In fact, that came up earlier today at one of the other boards, and I guess probably they had seen this. We have, it is the role of city council to offer to boards and to recommend to boards and to also direct to boards things that we would like to be advised on. For instance, we have a new technology board, and so we've enumerated in some ways what we want the technology board to kind of address to begin with. Because these are things that are gonna come before council and need a little more professional advisement on. And so the same would be for library board, although we don't really pass things down to library. I think, probably we will, in future, because we have some business things in mind, where the library resources could be used. It won't be anything outside of the scope that you already provide, really. But there are other boards who are interested in their own things that they read and research, and they want to bring that to council. And sometimes that starts an initiative in the public, and we don't have the staff capacity, we don't have it on the council agenda, and it isn't something that is on our work plan. So even though I admire that they're interested in what they're, researching and reading about and learning, which has to do with one of the boards that they're on, but it's not something that is in their bylaws, and it isn't anything that council is looking to entertain in the next 6 months. So that's what that refers to. The library really hasn't ever done anything like that. You're certainly welcome to come in and talk to council about concerns, advocate for your institution. And I myself appreciate the presentations from the library. And we have, as I say, three brand new, never been on council before, counselors. It's helpful to them. One says, I think it's Councilor Kalkofer said, I learned by doing, so it's really helpful for him if people come and talk, or if he's able to come and see, he comes to the library. But like I'm sure if I provided him, he would say, I didn't know we, just like I did, but we had all this. So it's good. Everything you're doing is fine, and that doesn't particularly relate to you. But I did have another question from another board about that similarly.
So I guess just to clarify, when Charlene and I went and spoke, we spoke as members of the public. We did say that we were members of this board, but we did it during the public comment time.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be saying if we wanted to really push for, if we were like, we need a new library branch and the board really needs city council to start working on this or whatever, that's what you're discouraging, is like us providing?
We're not blanket discouraging, but if you want to advocate for that, you'd want to get on the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what
that's
you were
true.
doing was more appropriate for public invited to be heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you would put that forward to the city manager and the mayor,
Okay.
and they would find a place for you or suggest maybe we could put that off till summer before we're doing budgeting, or they'll have in their scheme of things where they think that might fit best.
And it sounds like the suggestion is actually that we should go to you, and you would bring it to
Correct.
mayor.
Correct, and
city
that
manager.
is also
Okay. And
something I can do for you.
Okay, and so the idea is that the other board that will not be named is not following that kind of flow, and instead is just going to city council meetings and trying to push for something?
Well,
I guess I'm just trying to figure out what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you, I hear you.
Yeah.
We have a lot of independent actors on that board, and so we would like to have them be more cohesive and focused.
As a board.
So what happens is during the board meetings, it gets a little hard to negotiate the agenda because everybody's ping-ponging all over the place.
Okay.
And this has been noted by 2 different liaisons, and they just can't seem to get them moving in the same direction. And I had another board that I'm on today that said, they're concerned that they're fairly autonomous, but they're not fulfilling all of their bylaws. And I'm like, let's do more of that if you want to. They are going to have more time from now. So they're saying what is on our bylaws that we could add on that would be helpful to council. So they had the opposite problem.
Okay.
That they're a highly focused board. Now it's like, is it okay to expand if it's in our bylaws? And absolutely. So.
Well, and one of the things that I was thinking of is the whole financial issue of so many needs, and we only get a little bit to keep going. And can we do some research? Can we look into things and try to come up with some, well, like Rowan was talking about, maybe a think outside the box, or are there other funding things that could be done, because we're never catching up. And that's a huge thing, and obviously council has to be on board to do something like that. But can we do a kind of a research project and then do a presentation, a report at a council meeting and say, here's what we've come up with. We want council to consider doing something different because we're never getting ahead and we're never catching up to the population. population. So,
Well, you did that with the ebooks.
Yeah,
And that was
just one
helpful
small
to
thing.
council because
Yeah.
for one, it's in your purview and it is something
Yeah.
that you're tasked with and we didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So it was good to hear all that.
Yeah.
So that is
But-
exactly in your bylaws.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, bigger picture.
Yeah, you're gonna start researching districting, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel it. I love that.
Because I don't know anything about that.
Exactly,
You know.
exactly. I just Googled
I've always
it
been-
earlier. I was like,
I've always been in university.
what does that even, what does that even involve? All I know is that Boulder did it, like this one. Do you have any experience with that? In other?
I mean, I know enough about it. I haven't been in a district. No, that's not true. I used to live in Douglas County. But I haven't been in a library system where we
Made the transition. from the district,
transitioned.
yeah. Sounds like a lot of
But-
work.
Well, I mean, it is a lot of work
Yeah.
because you're going from, like in this case, and in most cases, either a municipality or a county, some kind of other governing system, to an independent special district, right? And it's been popular in Colorado because they're property tax funded, and the funding is generally better and more consistent. It's just a reality, and so and you have autonomy because you're your own taxing district. So the advantages are, I'm not sitting there advocating for the library budget, and the next voice is, water resources or public safety, like those,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you find yourself in a municipality, like, how do I convince people that we're just as important as everyone's public safety needs or clean water or whatever?
Yeah.
So, as a district, you don't have those issues, right? That's it. The other side of being autonomous is you got to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And so that extra funding means that's great because you have more money, but now you have to have your own human resources, your own IT, your own facilities, maintenance, so you do it all.
Your own ballot initiatives, if you wanna change it.
Yeah, and it's not hard to get on the ballot to form a district. I can't remember, it only takes a certain amount of signatures on a petition.
100.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it also
But there's so
helps
many
Boulder.
legal things,
Yeah.
and there's so much
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
You
No.
end up with it, there's a governing board
Yeah.
at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you have a.
No, I'm not saying.
No, but I mean, it's an interesting research just to know more
Yeah,
about it.
or, are there other financing things?
Right.
Take the board chair from Boulder out to for coffee and pick their brain.
Or
Sounds like Charlene's going.
even closer, we have High Plains Library District and they're building one in Meeting.
Yep.
Kind of right up against Longmont.
Yeah.
Well, in Erie,
Yeah.
Here's a district.
they're a part of High Plains as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're in,
And before the High Plains used to be Weld County Libraries,
Right.
and then they formed a district. But I think even I think Erie was a municipal library. I don't think they're a part of that county. And then when they became High
Erie is-
Plains,
Erie
that's
is
when
the s-
Erie wisely joined.
Erie is the same as Longmont, they're in both Boulder and Longmont.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that the Boulder, creating a district, they also had a foundation.
Uh-huh.
And I can't help but think that was like an important cushion for them.
Oh, well, it helped with campaigning.
Like before they were able
Yeah.
to achieve that.
It took them a good number of years, and to get to the point where it was actually on a ballot and passed. And I think they've tried before, and that can be the case of a lot of places.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
I've always said, just generally, because when I got here, that was a big conversation, and there was actually a group of citizens who had heard very recently, before I got here, were somewhat actively working on trying to form a district, a Longmont district, for all the reasons I just said.
Yeah.
And it kind of just fizzled out, but it didn't really just fizzle out. The timing of that, and I think they went to the city manager or city officials, right, to kind of present this idea, and that's effectively what led to the city funding the feasibility study at the time. you know, they would rather do that and see where they're short and see how the city can fund it just as well as as if it were a district, which hasn't come to realization
say.
yet.
Yeah.
Or I think that was the goal. But the feasibility, if you go back and look at it, it kind of lays out options, and one of them is become a special district, because this is probably what it doesn't ever say in that study, at any point does it say, like, this is the recommendation of the study.
Yeah.
It just lays out the facts for someone else to decide.
Okay.
But that was kind of a lot there. And then the people that really had started that effort, I don't know, they kind of, it just sort of fizzled out.
Would you be able to drag up those names out of curiosity, or?
I only know of one for sure. In fact, at the time, he was also on this library board and realized that was a conflict of interest, so he resigned. But I think he moved.
Okay.
And then the other one, I'm not sure what her involvement was, but her name was Prudence. You
I
have to
don't think
forget
she's
that.
living in the United States.
I
anymore.
think she moved too, because she was the former Friends Board chair, president, whatever.
Mhm.
So that's why I don't think, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Is the-
if you want to research in it, High Plains is a veteran at it, right?
Yeah.
Boulder's new at it.
Mhm.
There's plenty of people
Yeah.
to investigate that are around.
Is the feasibility study still on the website?
It's
Can we get to, or not?
It's not at the link that it used to be.
Maybe we took it down.
I have a note to eventually go over it with the future board. So maybe we can try to find it.
There's definitely hard copies.
Yeah,
I wonder
know
if we
Tracy
took it
knows.
down, because it was getting to the point where it's getting a little outdated.
Yeah. Oh, I would actually.
It's interesting for historical.
Actually, I would prefer a copy.
Yeah.
Well, it is anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, all that was on the website was a summary and then a link
Oh,
to
okay.
the full PDF.
Okay.
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
We'll look.
Yeah.
But how did we get on this time? It was your turn, Diane. I'm sorry.
And actually I'm looking at number 7, there's a board appreciation social, July 7th, which is also our, open
Public
forum
meeting.
night. And because of the trip that I mentioned to begin with, I'll be still traveling, so I will be there, but remotely. Should be an interesting evening, so it's a good time to bring comments if you like.
Are you gonna be like literally on the road, so people are gonna be watching this?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make everybody sick. Motion sick, oh God, get her off the screen. No, I'll stop. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a long night and there's some pretty important,
Usually those nights are.
yeah, pretty important comments will be.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing on those agendas, or are there there's other business as well?
No, it's the only.
It's the only thing, okay.
I mean, other than the, the Robert's rules,
Right.
of which there are many, so.
Much more formalized.
Yeah, they're more formal. Etiquette must be followed and then.
Yeah.
Could be an entertaining.
That's a good idea.
I like 'em. I really
feed
do.
people with
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah. Give them,
Before
like,
they
them on
go
ice
open
cream.
front.
Yeah, they're all on
Yeah.
sugar highs, yeah.
So I just want to say how much I appreciate the boards that I participate in, and especially this one. You're a very well thought out board, very focused on contributing to the community.
Yeah, I agree.
So appreciate having me on your, as your liaison.
I just want to say, because you've mentioned it a couple times, once we kind of finalize our talking points, we can have you send them out to council, just so
Yeah.
that they have it. Not that you have to do anything with it, but just so, because you were saying there might be a few people who'd be
That's a great
interested to
idea.
see
Oh,
what
yes.
the library has. So once we have like an actual version of it, you can just include it in some packet or whatever. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to like discuss it at length or anything like that. I'm just saying it might be
No,
useful
I think-
resource for people.
Yeah, I think the other councilors will enjoy seeing them. Cool.
Are there any other comments anyone would like to make on this board? Katie, parting is such sweet sorrow. Any
I know.
thoughts you would like to share?
Thank you for this time. It's been really wonderful, and it's been wonderful seeing the transition from Catherine as chair to Jamie as chair. And yeah, I can't wait to see where we go next. And yeah, I'm sure I will see you all around the library. I saw Charlene at the library today. There's that. It's really exciting, and of course, you know, street fairs and things like that. It sounds like we're going to continue that board participation there, which I think is so great. And so I love that we're working on these talking points, and so I'm sure I'll see you guys in the streets too.
Streets.
Yeah.
I'm not going far. I hope that any of you would reach out to me if you had anything that you thought I could answer or help, and look forward to being able to return to a more robust volunteer life when my job and personal obligations allow. But yes, this has been one of the more fulfilling things that I have done with my time here in Colorado, 100%.
Nice.
So the next meeting for some of you is July 20th. And there are no more agenda items. So we'll adjourn at 9:01. Oh, I wanted to get it right at 9 on the nose, my last meeting. All right, 1 minute off. 9:01. Thank you, everyone.